So, you're thinking concealed carry. Now, just because you're thinking about it, or you're considering purchasing a firearm, specifically a pistol, it doesn't mean that every pistol is going to work for you. So before I start this, if you're going out to look at pistols, try a bunch of them out. Go to a range, get with buddies that know a little something about firearms, try some guns out, see what you like, see what calibers, what size you like, so on and so forth. What I'm here to do is I'm going to show you a variety of different types of pistols that you may be interested in to kind of limit it down, right? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is something like this Ruger SR9C. This is a striker-fired single-action weapon, which means you pull the trigger once, you get one round, all right? The gun itself is going to eject the round as it fires, loads a new round, cycles it, and then again, you get one round, okay? So single action means the trigger is not going to reset itself. So I'm gonna get more into single double action here in a minute. The reason I pulled this gun out, this was my first EDC pistol I ever owned, 9mm. Now the reason I was keen to this, not knowing much in the gun world, is this has a safety on it. So you got to start thinking to yourself, do I require a safety on my firearm? Now, many striker-fired pistols, such as this is a 6 Hour 365 XL, but the 365 series do not have safeties on them. Now, if you choose a gun with a safety, one thing to consider is if you activate that safety every time you holster your firearm, if the event comes where you have to draw your firearm to engage a threat, you're going to have to turn that safety off. So it seems practical to a lot of people. It did to me when I first started carrying a pistol that, yes, I want a safety. But once you start getting a little more used to pistols and get comfortable with carrying a pistol, you start to realize that having a safety is more of a burden than it is being necessary to owning that firearm. So that's why I'm moving over to my 365 that I just pulled out. So if you go for something like this, it's a subcompact. If you get its little brother, the standard 365, it's a micro compact, very small. Again, a striker-fired single action firearm. So you pull the trigger, round goes off, round gets expended, a new round gets loaded, goes forward, and then you get your next round, okay? That is the only way it'll operate. You can see, after I squeeze that trigger, nothing's gonna happen. See that? Reset, trigger, nothing happens, okay? So this is a subcompact striker action, or striker-fired single action pistol. I know I'm a little jacked up here. I didn't really take notes on the video. I just figured I'd wing it. Okay, so the next pistol that some people might be looking into, now this is a micro compact. So you can see how tiny this is compared to this 365 XL, right? This is a super tiny micro compact. Now this is a hammer-fired single action pistol. So what that means is you'll see, it's cleared like all my pistols. You'll see when I squeeze the trigger, the hammer is gonna drop forward. If I squeeze the trigger again, nothing's gonna happen. Same thing, the gun has to cycle, load another round in, and then you get another shot. Okay, so that is a hammer-fired single-action pistol. Now, the reason I brought this one out is with it being a micro compact, like many pistols out there are, they are super, super tiny. As you see, my finger almost goes past the barrel, right? So this can be good or bad. It's going to be a lot more poppy for you if you choose to go for a micro compact pistol compared to something with a little longer of a barrel, right? Such as this Ruger SR9C. So generally, the shorter the barrel, the more kick it's going to have as you're firing, right? Muzzle flip. So this is something to consider. Do you want a gun this tiny? Now, if you go for a gun this tiny, it's not going to print. Meaning if I put it under my shirt in a holster, you're probably not going to be able to tell I'm carrying a firearm as much as you would if I had a full-sized or a standard subcompact pistol. But there can be a lot of inconveniences with having a micro compact pistol. One of them is when you go to reach in to grab your weapon from the holster, it's a lot smaller. So it's going to be harder for you to get that positive purchase, right? The purchase is what we call a good grip on the pistol when you come up from your holster. So that's some things to start thinking about. Do you want something a little bigger, or do you want something way tinier? And the last type of pistol I'm going to talk about here in this quick video, this is a double action hammer fired pistol. So this is a CZ-P01. So what that means is right here, I squeeze the trigger, the hammer's going to go forward, right? But if I continue to squeeze at the trigger, I'm going to get a hard take up, and it's just going to keep going off for me. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this gun out, this is actually one of my preferred EDCs that I carry on me quite often. So if I go to load a magazine, right, and I chamber around, so the gun is now hot, what I can do is I can drop the hammer right here. There's a hammer release button, and it's going to decock the pistol. So what that means is I still have a round in here. I do not have a safety. But if the hammer is decocked, I'm going to have a long, hard trigger pull for my first round that goes off. I think on these P01s, I'm sitting right about 8 pounds. I might be wrong, might be a little heavier. But I'm going to get a long, hard trigger pull, go, 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 and then it breaks. After that first round goes off, my gun cycles, and now it's in single action. So I'm going to reset the trigger, and then I'm going to have a really quick, light trigger squeeze for the duration of me engaging whatever threat is out there. So this is a great happy medium in my opinion. If you're looking into something that'll be a little safer to holster every time. So the issue is that many people have with these something like this 365 XL, right? So there's no safety on it. So if you go to put it in your holster and an article of clothing gets stuck up in here, it could cause the gun to go off, right? But if you have something like this P01, where I decock the firearm and I go to place it in a holster, right? If I have an article of clothing in here, you're gonna get a lot of resistance. You can see up here, a lot of resistance before that trigger breaks, even if it's going to. Now what I like to do, when I holster this, I put it in my waistband, of course, and I keep my thumb right here on the back of the hammer. So if it's met with any resistance back here, I'd feel the hammer start to rise, and then I would stop and figure it out. Okay, so that is a quick down and dirty on some of the pistols that you might consider carrying in the near future. As always, I hope you liked the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. All right, thank you.